The following content has been generated with artificial intelligence under minimal human supervision. The data presented may contain errors or inaccuracies. The opinions expressed in this content do not necessarily reflect the vision, position, or values of DigiAll. We recommend verifying critical information with additional sources before making decisions based on this content.
Welcome to DigiAll Tech News. Today is Tuesday, June 9th, 2026. I'm Kylie Brooks, and this is where technology becomes clear, useful, and worth questioning. OpenAI has confidentially filed for an IPO, setting up a public market test of whether the AI boom can justify its enormous valuations. Apple says its most advanced AI model uses Google Cloud infrastructure and Nvidia GPUs, even as it keeps privacy at the center of Apple intelligence. Anthropic's biology research shows that powerful AI agents can still stumble badly when scientific databases are built for humans, not machines. A new analysis finds most planned US AI data centers are headed for drought-hit areas, sharpening the fight over water behind the cloud. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang has declined a Senate invitation to testify publicly on AI, China, and chip export controls. Let's start with OpenAI, because this is less about one filing and more about a stress test for the entire AI market. The company has confidentially filed an S1, which preserves the option to move toward an IPO without locking in timing. It was last valued at $852 billion after raising $122 billion in March, and it is trying to show investors a path beyond expensive compute bills. An $8 ChatGPT tier projected to help reach 122 million subscribers this year. Ads expected to become the largest revenue driver by 2030, plus new products from a browser to coding agents and enterprise tools. That matters because public company life changes the rules. Wall Street will want clearer proof that revenue and cash flow can support the valuation, especially as Anthropic also moves toward public markets, and SpaceX prepares its own Friday debut. The real question is whether OpenAI can keep the speed and flexibility of a private lab while accepting the transparency and discipline that public investors demand. Now, Apple's AI story is getting more concrete. At WWDC in Cupertino, Apple showed a redesigned Siri with more conversational voice interactions, like checking concert dates, setting reminders, and routing directions. Then, executives explained the machinery underneath. Apple Foundation Model Cloud Pro, its most advanced cloud model, will run on Nvidia GPUs inside Apple Private Cloud Compute, hosted in Google's cloud, and Apple says the model is comparable in capability to Google's Gemini frontier models. Here's the interesting tension. Apple is not simply handing Siri to Gemini. It says Google helped train and refine Apple's own third-generation foundation models, while a system orchestrator decides whether a request stays on device or moves to the cloud based on compute and privacy needs. In practical terms, Apple is trying to have both things users want: more powerful AI and less broad data collection. The trade-off is that the more Apple depends on cloud partners and specialized chips, the more its privacy promise has to be proven not just in marketing, but in architecture and execution. This next story is a useful reality check on scientific AI agents. Anthropic researcher Laura Lubert and collaborators tested agents on ViaBench, a benchmark with 120 realistic biological data queries across 40 pathogens. The results were all over the map. State-of-the-art agents range from 16.9% to 91.3% mean accuracy, and even the same prompt could return wildly different sequence counts across runs. One Ebola virus query came back with 106, 15, or 5 sequences, when the expected answer was 266. But when the agents used a deterministic tool called Gigit virus, accuracy rose to nearly 100%. That matters because biology is full of tasks where a small retrieval error can break the whole analysis, from outbreak surveillance to diagnostic design to protein model training. During the Bundibugyo virus Ebola outbreak in the DRC, with more than 1,000 cases and more than 200 deaths reported by May 29th, getting the right sequences is not academic housekeeping. The bigger issue is that agent intelligence still needs reliable plumbing. Flexible reasoning is powerful, but in high-stakes science, reproducible data access may be the difference between helpful automation and confident mistakes. The cloud has always sounded weightless, but AI infrastructure is very physical, and water is becoming part of the bill. A Guardian analysis of 809 planned US data centers found that 517, about 2/3, are slated for places that have had drought conditions over the past year. Large facilities can use up to 5 million gallons of water a day for evaporative cooling, about the usage of 50,000 people. And national data center water demand is projected to rise from 17 billion gallons in 2023 to 73 billion gallons a year by 2028. The examples make the conflict easier to see. The Stratus project approved in drought-stricken Box Elder County, Utah, Amazon facilities in Walla Walla County, Washington, and major projects in parts of Texas. Developers often like cheaper, arid sites with tax advantages and less equipment corrosion, while communities are asking who gets water when ranching, farming, population growth, and hyperscale computing collide. Closed-loop cooling can reduce direct water use, but it can also raise energy demand, which brings its own water and fossil fuel trade-offs. So, is this really just a data center siting issue? Not quite. It's a reminder that AI policy is also infrastructure policy, and the hardest questions may show up first in local water meetings. Finally, Nvidia's central role in AI is putting Jensen Huang directly in Washington's spotlight, even when he is not in the hearing room. Senator Elizabeth Warren invited Huang to testify before the Senate Banking Committee on June 11th at a hearing titled AI and the American Dream: Promoting Innovation, Affordability, and American Dominance. Huang declined, saying he was unable to attend, but offered to host Warren or other committee members at Nvidia's Santa Clara headquarters to discuss the company's technology, the US AI ecosystem, and support for American leadership. Warren wants a public setting, especially around Nvidia's China business and its positions on export controls for advanced AI chips. The tension here is bigger than one invitation. Huang has argued that American companies should be able to compete in China while maintaining a US technological edge, while critics worry advanced chips could strengthen rivals, including China's military. For listeners, the key point is accountability. The hardware behind the AI boom is now a strategic asset, and policymakers want the companies that control it to answer questions in the open. Today's through line is pressure. OpenAI may face public market scrutiny. Apple is proving whether private AI can scale through partners. Biology agents need dependable data access. Data centers are colliding with water limits, and Nvidia is being pulled deeper into public policy. The technology is moving fast, but the accountability layer is catching up. Thank you for staying informed with DigiAll Tech News. I'm Kylie Brooks. We'll be back with more updates as they develop.